know that 90% of prospective clients reach out to their law firm via phone? That's why more than 3,000 law firms use CallRail to answer, track, and convert every lead. When your law firm uses CallRail, you can answer every call even after hours, quickly identify high-value leads, meet clients' needs faster to improve their experience, and use data to improve your marketing campaigns and land bigger cases. All seamlessly integrated into your case management system. CallRail helps your law firm grow faster. Start your free trial today at callrail.com/JTN.
Hi, legal besties, and welcome to season 3 of Ladies in Law. Today we have, back by popular demand, Jodi Weber.
Hello.
If you don't remember, this is my lovely mother.
Yes.
And I am so glad to have my very first episode as a solo host. Shouts out to Allison. I love you. I miss you. With my mom. So, Mom, can you please tell us a little bit about just where you've been in this past year since we recorded the last?
It's been a big year. Actually, probably one of my biggest years to date. Last time I was on the podcast, you asked me, you're like, so anything coming up or anything exciting? And I had just had my first conversation with a potential idea that myself and my partner were talking about. So I wasn't quite ready to talk about it yet. But since November of last year, we have been talking about starting an ABA center, that's Applied Behavior Analysis for Children with Autism. And the idea grew into action. And as of July 2025, we have opened our first ABA center called Aurelia Behavioral Academy. And I am the CEO of the company and
I love that.
translation CEO. And and just it's been a whirlwind. I still, was holding a full-time job as a mental health specialist for the school district, and then starting this idea in a different state, which I forgot to mention. My partner has a very successful home health care company in Ohio, and so Ohio became our focus, and we landed in Avon Lake. It's outside of Cleveland, Ohio, and it's beautiful, and the people are very welcoming, and it's been exciting. Yeah, big year.
Big year. I know, usually it's like a phrase of just like, it's been a year, but like it really has been a year.
No, it's really, but it's been a year.
Avon Lake is honestly, it's gorgeous. I had the privilege of flying out and being there for your red ribbon cutting, which literally, it's like you really do get those big scissors.
Yeah.
Big scissors. You get to cut it.
It actually cut.
Yeah. I kind of always thought it was like a farce, or like it would be like a little Velcro thing that would just like fall.
It's like, sure, it's connected.
Like, these are actually kind of sharp.
Yeah.
We should like put in a photo of like what that cutting was. She was a little reckless with the scissors, I'm just gonna say.
I know.
It was a liability.
Well, I wasn't running with them. That's like the thing, like, don't run with scissors, but I wasn't running.
That is true. You did not do that. That was a win. I mean, just seeing you do this and put your dreams into practice has just been incredible. I mean, you have just like the most amazing bleeding heart. Like, so much of the kind of advocate that I am and the human that I am, I credit to you and your example. And the way that you have so selflessly given always to people that need it. And the way that you are able to amplify voices and help voices be heard and seen and understood it's a gift.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
I
Honestly though, if I was going to impart anything onto my daughters, I would want it to be that, that concern and that care that you have. for your own clients, you know, I think that it translates into whatever we're doing, right? Whatever our job title is just to treat another human being like their voice is worth listening to, because it is. It is. They deserve to be heard. And what I love about you is that even like for you, you know, you represent your clients in a way that, you know, sometimes the trauma feels so big that we're not able to talk about it ourselves, and so you give them that voice. So it's right back at you.
Thanks, Mama. I just remembered, I saw your new little signature on your name.
I did.
Yeah.
I added letters.
You added
yes.
letters. Tell us
Yes.
what the letters are, because last time we had you, it was MSW, LCSW.
Yes, licensed clinical social worker. And so in Ohio, which I am now licensed in, it's licensed independent social worker, LISW. And then my most exciting addition has been the S. So so mentoring has been something that has always been kind of on my professional radar as something that I really wanted to get into. And so that S gives me the ability to supervise and mentor licensed social workers that are up and coming. And I'm so proud of that. And I honestly, when I think about it, I think what I'm most proud about is knowing that I have something to teach or impart or to give lessons of life and professional and the blend and the challenges and the, you know, all of it with that S. So I'm excited. Yeah. So I have a few more letters after my name.
I love it. I think it's really cool because it kind of ties in all of your life experience. And I know we talked about this in the last season, the last time we had you on, but you have had many different careers in your lifetime. And like something that I've always admired about you is like, it's never too late to bet on yourself. It's never too late to choose a different path. Like we do something for as long as it's serving us. If it's not, then we step back, we assess, and we see like, okay, is there something more? Do I need more? And you always listen to that. And I think it's cool because it's like you were a teacher, you know, like you loved being a teacher,
I did.
preschool teacher, fourth grade teacher. You dreamed, honestly, like I remember you talking about like, I wonder if I could teach like a college course, or like you teach, you love teaching, you love molding minds and inspiring. And it's cool that you get to do that in the profession that most fills you. Like you get to do that blend of the two, which is really cool.
Yeah. I think that I would want that for everyone, is to look back in your career and go, yeah, those weren't like probably my favorite positions, or that wasn't like the best opportunity, but I can take X, Y, and Z from it and apply it to life. I mean, life experiences, professionally, personally. And that's kind of how I look at my career, right? Like I look at different parts and like, oof, that was so challenging, but probably learned the most from that position, and learned this from here. And now that I'm, you know, in the current position that I'm in, I just love how we all just play really well together in this sandbox. And, you know, we have different disciplines, but ultimately, like, we just respect each other's opinions so much that it's really like every day is a think tank. Like, how can we do better for this client, or where, like, strengths based, right? Like, yeah, it's very easy to focus on somebody's like, I don't know, challenges, but where are their strengths? And let's build from there and build that into our treatment plans. And, you know, we offer like so many services for the family members too, because when one is suffering, we're all suffering, right? Or when one is undergoing challenges, we all are. And so, yeah, it's kind of, that blend is really, really finding itself to be a very positive motivator for me now. So, yeah, I do love teaching. I do. All things but math. Don't even, you know. You know.
I know. I think just like riddled in like everything that you just said is that no chapter is a wasted chapter.
Yes.
And I think so often, if we change career paths, if we leave a relationship, if we do like any kind of like shift, we think like, God, that was such a waste. Like, why did I waste my time doing this? Like, why did I, like spend the time doing something that I wasn't even passionate about? Or, and it's like, no, like it is a lesson.
Yes.
You learn something from that. And whether it's what doesn't serve you, what does serve you, what you want more of, what you want less of, like, it is something that you can carry on and into each new chapter. And so it's not a waste. It's just a redirection. It's just a chance of like reflection of what works for you and what doesn't. And it's really powerful to sit and look at that and determine that.
Right. And that's a mindset, right? I mean, we sometimes do that with relationships too, when they don't work out. It's like, you think that, like, it's like, that was 3 years of my life or however many. And it's like, yeah, but what are you taking from that? Like, if it was so terrible, don't repeat it. Don't do it again. Learn from it, and move on. So, I think it's a very healthy mindset to view every opportunity as a learning opportunity.
Yeah. No, I could not agree more. And I think that's something that like I definitely in this new season want to just like carry through. Is that like everything's a lesson, and like what are we, it takes intentionality. It takes a lot of intention to just sit down and look at it, because God, it's so much easier to just like be in the emotion, right? And just be like, oh, that sucked, or oh, and it's like, okay, pause.
Right.
What did we gain from this? And if it is negative, then okay, let's never settle for that again. Let's never, and so I think like that's something that I want us like to always just like be looking at. And then also I think something that I want this season to really focus on is just like I am a lawyer. This is ladies-in-law. It's always going to like go back to the law in some kind of way. I think just because that's like my lived experience and that's like my day to day. But I know that like the legal profession is not the only male dominated field. And I know that so you, which I really want to talk about, you lead an all-female team. And I think that that is so important and powerful and wonderful. And I think like, even if you are in a space mainly dominated by women, like you might hold a position that is more historically male dominated. It is, like you are CEO of a company. That is so badass. And like a lot of the time women don't and haven't gotten a seat at that table and had that much power in their voice at the table. And so I want to just like highlight that and what it's like for a woman to be in a space that we haven't always been allowed in, and to take up space and like have power and belief in our voice and what we bring. And so I want this season to just like reflect that like not only can we dream to take up space, but like we can have these examples of people that are doing this, because it's so important to see that it is done.
Exactly. Absolutely. I think that you have a really good platform to bring in just really badass women that are willing to challenge what has always been. And I mean, it's like, yeah, I have an all-woman staff right now, for now. And yet I've still experienced those questions like where, somebody will call in for business. It's like, oh, you're the owner? And it's like this question of where I'm like, absolutely, I am, and it's, unless I don't like what you're saying, and then I'll just pass the phone. No, I'm just kidding. But, I mean, yeah, I am. And, and it's, I think that there's just always that thought of like, well, typically, it's this picture of a person that should be in that position. And, you and I went to that Women in Leadership conference, And I realized when I was there that I was really missing that support, like that unconditional support, and feeling like I was I was being so challenged by it. Like, imposter syndrome will set in and all these doubts will set in. And then you're around other women that are sharing, like, I had the darkest of days when I was starting my business, and it was really tough. And at the point that I was going to throw in my towel, this happened. And you start to be able to universalize what you're going through. And it helped me so much. And the one thing that resonated with me, I think the most, was how so many women were like owning their space and also just being unapologetically themselves. Like we kept hearing that, right? It's like, and then I realized I could be myself, unapologetically myself. And I was like, new concept. Why am I trying to fit into what people expect to see in this role when it's just so much easier to be me? And and do that with that self-assuredness of just showing up and knowing that those past life experiences got me to where I am today. Like, I deserve to be here and own this space. So I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you that you have this opportunity to invite people onto the podcast that share your similar mindset, and that you can highlight, just who they are and how important they are to be in this space and show up every day. Like, that's hard. We're doing hard things.
And we can.
And we can.
Yeah.
We can.
I think like that shouts out to Women in Leadership by Betty, because that was like honestly one of the most transformative conferences I've ever been to. And the fact that like I can go to that conference and my mom can go to that conference and we can both gain so much even though we're in different professions is a testament to the leader, like the conference.
Agreed.
Too. Because something that was so cool about this conference is that it's not just legal professionals. It's just women in leadership roles, spanning so many different just, like areas, whether it's the legal field, whether it is mental health, whether it was a bakery, like things that were just so different environments. I mean, but like shared experience
Right.
of just like existence as a woman,
Right.
And so I think that there's something so bonding about that, and something that like this podcast that like we've always wanted it to be, and that I want it to continue being, is just the safest space to show up as you are. Because I think that when we try and put up this front, when we try and be like, yeah, we have it all together, we can do it all, where's the connection in that? Where's the honesty in that? Like, who are you fooling, and for why?
Right.
Like, I don't, it's something that's so important. Like, okay, I have suffered from imposter syndrome pretty much my whole life, like for as long as I can remember. And going into that room and watching women stand and talk and just like exude this level of confidence where I'm like, God, I wish I was born with that. Or like, oh my gosh, like that is so cool that they can just like command this room so powerfully. Like, I wish I had some of that in me. And then for them to turn around and be like, oh yeah, I suffer from imposter syndrome. I'm like, what? But you're how, what? You're like, it's just, it's mind boggling, because it's like, no, I work very hard to show up like this. I've done a lot of self-work. I've done all of these things. And it's like, oh my God, like that is so cool. Because it's like, that can be me. Like, I can do that. Like, it is possible. Like, it's not something you have to be born with. It's something that we can, like, work towards. And seeing that in someone else and hearing that is like, oh, that's really cool. Like, that, like, that's what I want this space to be, is that it's like, oh, wait, I can struggle, and it doesn't mean that I can't also thrive.
Yeah, that's so true. Because imposter syndrome is really just giving space to those intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
And, and there's a book, and I forget, I feel bad that I don't know the author's name, but it's called Whose Mind Is This Anyway? And it's like, I remember seeing the title, and I was a lot younger, and I remember reading it and just being like, oh yeah, we are in control of our own mind. But sometimes those intrusive thoughts, like, they become so powerful and overwhelming that that's really like all we're listening to.
Oh yeah.
And, I kind of like, sometimes I picture just a big old broom and just sweeping those thoughts right out of my brain, because it's like, no, I am not giving you any space, any control, and any more power over me than I need to. And so I love
Yeah.
I love that you are a person that supports other women, with similar challenges.
Yeah. I think it's important. Like, I think it is hard to be vulnerable, and it is hard to show what society has sometimes deemed as weaknesses or all of the things, but it's just human.
Right.
Like, we're allowed to be human, we're allowed to have emotions, we're allowed to struggle, we're allowed to pick ourselves up again and try again. And I think that we do ourselves a disservice, we do women a disservice, we do society a disservice by not admitting it.
Right. During the last podcast that we did together, I remember, there was a question about how we're supposed to act in certain roles. And I grew up, like, when you're professional, you have a professional voice, you have a professional presence. You don't never talk about anything personal, and never weaknesses, and you boast, right? Because how did you get here? Well, I am very experienced, and let me tell you. And it really it messed with me a little bit, because I was not being my authentic self, and I thought I had to present myself in a way to be heard. And that's where where it resonated with me, and being like unapologetically myself, that freedom has brought me so much peace, because I'm not going to be for everyone. I'm not. And instead of trying to make myself somebody that person could potentially like, or tolerate, or what, it's like, I don't have time. And in all sincerity and kindness, like, I understand that, we all have preferences. Really, that's just what it is. It doesn't have to be a personal thing. My style of leadership is my very own. And I, bottom line, fundamentally, really just want to just encourage and build up that same confidence in the women that I work with, because they're amazing and they have amazing qualities, and they're all very different. So again, like, we find each other's strengths and we lean into that. And I can't imagine working in any other environment. Like, I just won't.
That's why you should exactly be in that environment. Like, that is how I wish, like, everyone felt in spaces of service.
Right.
And I think it's hard because, I mean, we've talked about it extensively, like the compassion fatigue and the heaviness of the
Right.
world.
Right.
And I mean, especially like the topic of conversation when it comes to autism right now. And like, I can't even imagine how that's impacting your field and the way that you show up and the rhetoric around it and all of it. Like, it's a lot to try and navigate. And it is a lot to try and juggle. And it's a lot to try and soothe others while internally you might be like, what is happening right now? Where it's like, you're almost trying to like soothe yourself at the same
Right.
time,
Yeah. And that's a lot of how triggers are, right? Like, I mean, sometimes you're triggered, like, where I did not prepare for this. I did not think this was going to happen, but we all have like our own trauma histories,
Yeah.
essentially. And sometimes triggers aren't even related to trauma. Sometimes they're just, triggering other emotions that come up. And So that's where I think that it's so important to really do the internal inventory and really like check in. What am I feeling right now? And am I going to be able to be in service for this person? And if not, check out, get somebody else to assist, or like you're there for someone else. But I think that self-awareness is just so important, and knowing that like we all have our own stories, and regardless of whatever they are, giving that support to each other is just so important, and knowing when you need to ask for it, right? That's kind of another side to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
A lot of self-awareness and
Yeah.
intentionality. I feel like I always come back to the intentionality, and I think sometimes like it sounds so easy, and it's like, why don't I just do that? It's like, because it takes effort. It matters, and it's worth it. And also you have to like want it for yourself, and you have to be doing those check-ins, and not as like a chore, or like another, God, I have to do this again. And it's like, no, it's just like taking a second to just step out of your head and just be like, okay, what is going on?
Right.
Why am I ruminating on this? Why am I? And that can be like, I just need to go for a walk. I need to just, see some sunlight. I need to just call my mom. I need to just, you do the thing that helps you get out of your head if you can't do that for yourself. And that's not weakness, like it's knowing what you need when you need it, and advocating for yourself in those moments.
Right. Right, because nothing's harder than when you're asking somebody like, what do you need? How can I help you? And they're like, I don't know. And it's like, I'm just here.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be here with you, and we'll figure it out together, but just know that I'm here for you. But it is a lot easier when you are able to have those
Tools.
Yes, exactly, the tools, like self-care tools, right? So when you need to just unplug or unwind, like what are your go-tos? Candles, bath, book.
Your therapist.
Or I mean, just whatever it is, like tap into that and help yourself through it.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that I also want to implement this season is because in the past one, we would ask like, okay, like we're so much more than our profession, right? Like, what do you like to do for fun? Let's leave on who you are as a human. This season, I'm thinking it might be kind of fun to ask, like, if you could give one piece of advice to women, whether it's like your younger version of yourself, whether it's, kids in school who have dreams of what they want to do, whether it's the people that work with you, like if you could give one piece of advice to a woman, what would it be?
So many things are coming to mind.
No, one.
I know the first one is never give up. It sounds almost cliche, but like really, really important to set the goals, right? So for me, like I had this like really far-reaching professional goal that so many different stages of my life I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna ever attain that, but I never lost sight of it. And so being okay with the ebbs and the flows of life, and being able to just take the next step. Just that's all you have to do is just take the next step, and the next step will follow, and pretty soon you'll be moving toward that that far-reaching goal, and knowing that you are going to face challenges, but that doesn't mean that you're not supposed to keep going. It doesn't mean that like, oh, this isn't for me, it's not meant to be. It's like, no, like push through it, because the doors will start opening for you, but it's gonna take work, and it's gonna take time. And that's the other thing, like we can't really put time limits on things because of the reasons I just gave. Like I had this far-reaching goal, and if I put a time limit on that, I would not have reached it, because I would have thought that I was supposed to reach it a long time ago. But life happened, right? And it wasn't the script that I wrote, but it was the most beautiful life, and that includes all of it, right? The highs, the lows, because all of it I can look back on, like the beginning of the conversation, and say it was all for something, and we're here. And so that I don't know if there's ever like one piece of that or one nugget we can pull from that, except to just say that you can do it. Once you start believing in yourself, you can do it.
And you are worth fighting for. I think that's
Yes.
perfect.
Yes.
And that's everything you embody and exemplify.
Thank
And
you.
I'm proud of you. And I cannot
you.
thank you enough for being on our podcast, my podcast, this podcast.
It's
I am so
yours!
excited that you're on here.
Yes. Please invite me back. I really like this. I like being here with you. I'm
great.
so proud of
You're
you.
great.
I am so proud of you and the work that you're doing and the compassion and the heart that you have for literally every living thing on this planet. You're incredible.
Thank you, Mama. I appreciate you. Yeah. And I appreciate everyone listening to this episode. Can you tell everyone where they can find... I was going to call you Jodi, and I was like, I don't know the last time I said your first name. Can you tell everyone where they can find you and your new business and all the things that you're doing?
Yes. So we have a very cute website. It's www.aurelia4aba.com, and all things me are on there. If you'd like to reach out, I'd love to. If anything resonated, love to speak with you further about it, or it has all my information on there. So just get on there and.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. And we'll plug it in the episode and on socials. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you everyone for listening. Bye.